Well, that's a good segue, because we all know that the best, at any kind of seniors housing community, the best salesman is the resident.
That's true.
And you came out with a study, original research last year, that said if you're very satisfied, I put in quotes, very satisfied residents are more than 4 times likely to recommend their community than the residents who are merely satisfied.
That's correct.
That's an astounding number, at more than 4 times. How do you get those residents who are very satisfied, who are satisfied, to become very satisfied?
You probably, I'll say, how do you get them? Number one is you provide them a good quality of everyday living. It isn't the beautiful physical plant. It isn't all of the amenities and all the bells and whistles. Those might get them to look at it in the first place, but what keeps them happy is a good everyday life, one where they are in the company of friends, whether, then that should be both residents and staff, that they have a sense of control, they have flexibility in their dining hours. It's not regimentation, right. It's flexibility, comfort. They feel that this community is a sense of they have a sense of home there. It is very much people-oriented. In that same paper, we looked at 77 different physical plant attributes, and then about 40 soft attributes, people and policies.
And it was all the 40, probably.
It wasn't all the 40,
Mostly.
but the only 2 physical plant attributes that have an impact on your occupancy are the location and the size of the residence, the individual apartment. Yeah, but that it doesn't necessarily always correlate that it's really it is size, and it is their perception of how much that residence feels like home to them. But the attributes that had a very high correlation with occupancy is that satisfaction with everyday life, feeling at home, the flexibility in dining and quality of dining. There's 5, and I'm probably not going to be able to come up with all of them, but it's a huge. It wasn't a little bit of difference. It was a huge difference.
That's a huge difference.
So the investment needs really to be made in people.
People, staff,
atmosphere. Because 2 things when we go in and do audits with struggling properties. There's 2 things that really jump out a lot that we've seen. One is the sales staff almost always are the problem. Not 100% of the time, but almost always are a problem. And if they're not the problem, then the other thing that we have seen is very low referral rates from residents. Right. You should be getting at least 60% of if you are more than 2 years old, if the community has been around for more than 2 years, you should be getting 60% of your referrals for independent living from residents and family. Yep. 60% of your leads from residents and family. Right. And when I see communities getting 20%, one community that was struggling had less than 10%.
There's a reason.
There's a
reason. Now we all know we're in a very slow development period right now. It's just been dropping dramatically in the last 12 months. But simultaneously with that, the demand is going to do nothing but increase. Do you have a forecast for what's going to happen with those 2 opposite things meeting each other?
Well, I think we still have to take into consideration that home values aren't going to jump up immediately. So even though there's less supply coming into the market, there still is going to be a smaller market proportion, I believe, of demand. But I think what we'll still see is very good communities will do very, very well, and those that aren't so good are still going to be fighting it out. But we should see occupancies increase. I anticipate that we will. But I don't know that it's going to help everybody. People may decide to wait for the better community and not move to the community that is just a place to go.
Okay. All right, well, thanks for spending time with me. I look forward to your next research report. Hopefully you're working on something new today.
I am.
Okay.
As we speak.
As we speak. Very good. Thank you very much, Margaret.
My pleasure.